Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is Wednesday and it is a wildly beautiful day outside. But inside, we are just glued to these glowing screens. We have been up all night pulling together the latest updates for Port Charles. Our coffee is completely cold, our eyes are burning, but we have a massive scoop for you today. So let's just dive right into the deep end because there is so much to unpack. And we have to start with Lulu Spencer because Lulu is just having the most complicated time right now in her personal life. So she is walking through General Hospital, probably dealing with the stress of Rocco's infected hand, and she runs into Britt Westbourne, which is already an awkward situation, but it gets so much worse. Because Britt is basically telling Lulu who she can and cannot date, and Lulu is completely taken aback by this. She is just stunned. Because think about the history here for a second. First, Liesl Obrecht and Felicia Scorpio were totally against Lulu dating Nathan West. They made their opinions very known, even though Maxie Jones had already moved on with her life. And then even Maxie herself told Lulu that she wanted Nathan to move on, just not with Lulu. So Lulu has been dealing with all these naysayers for a while now, all these people telling her to stay away from this guy, and now his sister is joining the club. Britt just walks right up to her in the hospital, and she drops this massive warning. She tells a stunned Lulu that being with Nathan is a huge mistake. But we know the real truth. We the viewers know exactly why Britt is saying this. Because Britt knows that Nathan is not Nathan at all. He is actually his twin brother, Cassius Faison, and that is a massive, dangerous secret. So Britt is trying to steer Lulu away from this newest romance. Because Britt is already dealing with so much danger in her own life. She has Jen Sidwell threatening her. She has Ross Cullum demanding things from her and controlling her medication supply. And Cassius is posing as Nathan just to keep Sidwell happy and maintain his cover. So Britt is looking at Lulu and just seeing a total disaster waiting to happen. She knows Cassius is a fraud. She knows the Faison bloodline is pure chaos. And she does not want Lulu getting caught in the crossfire of this massive deception. But of course, she cannot just say that out loud. She cannot just blurt out the truth in the middle of General Hospital. So she just gives this vague, harsh warning, and Lulu is left standing there completely confused and taken aback. Lulu is probably thinking, why is everyone so obsessed with my love life? Why can't I just be happy? But she has no idea about the dark web of lies she's walking into. So let's pivot over to Brook Lynn Quartermain, because things are looking really bad for her right now. And it is honestly so frustrating to watch this play out. So Brook Lynn is at the Quartermain mansion. She is in her bedroom with her husband, Harrison Chase. And Chase is a patrolman. So he gets all the police updates and the scanner chatter. And he tells the whole Quartermain family about this horrific car wreck on Route 91. He tells them that Curtis and Jordan Ashford were in a bad wreck. He says Jordan swerved off the road to avoid another car. And as soon as Brook Lynn hears this news, the color just drains from her face. She goes into full-blown panic mode because Brook Lynn remembers being on Route 91 that exact night. She remembers driving. And she remembers drinking. We all saw it happen. The camera totally zoomed in on her empty wine glass at the grand reopening of Charlie's Pub. She was drinking wine to celebrate because she and Chase just got conditionally approved by Willow to foster baby Phoebe Wilson. It was supposed to be a happy, perfect night, but she was running late to see Gio Palmieri perform his music. So she got in her car, maybe she was a little tipsy, and she remembers swerving on the dark road. So now she is standing in her bedroom, racked with guilt, just totally consumed by it. She is piecing it all together in her head. She thinks about the timeline, she thinks about the location, and she realizes she might be the one who caused this massive fiery crash. And she is alone in her bedroom, and she actually says it out loud. She says, I'm pretty sure I had something to do with that car wreck. And that is just a devastating realization because she has so much to lose right now. She finally has this baby. She and Chase are starting their family. And if it comes out that she was drinking and driving, if it comes out that she caused a crash and fled the scene without stopping to help, she will lose Phoebe. She will lose everything. The foster care system will take that baby away in a heartbeat. And her marriage to a cop could be completely ruined. But let's be real for a second. We have to call out the writing here, because framing Brook Lynn as the villain in this crash is just ridiculous. Yes, drinking and driving is bad, but we all saw what actually happened in that car with Curtis and Jordan. They were literally making out. Jordan took her eyes off the road to passionately kiss Curtis. She was completely distracted. It was basically the equivalent of texting and driving. But the narrative is totally ignoring that fact. They are making Brook Lynn the scapegoat, and it is just so clunky. They're setting her up for this massive fall just to create drama for the foster baby storyline, and it makes us so mad because Brook Lynn has worked so hard to redeem herself over the years, and now she is just spiraling in her bedroom, blaming herself for a crash that was probably caused by two adults acting like teenagers in the front seat. Or maybe it was caused by Danny Morgan and Charlotte Cassadine joyriding in the other car, but no Brook Lynn is going to take the heat. And Tracy Quartermaine is probably going to have to launch a massive cover-up to save her from going to prison. And speaking of massive cover-ups, we need to talk about Willow Kane, because Willow is officially terrifying us. She is stooping to levels we never thought possible. She is sitting on the couch with her mother, Nina Reeves, and she is just dropping bomb after bomb. First, she was freaking out about her entire future being at stake, crying and acting frightened because Jack Brennan is blackmailing Nina. Brennan has that traffic cam video. The video that shows Willow crying in her car near the house the night Drew Kane was shot. And Brennan told Nina it is time to repay the favor. He threatened to make that video mysteriously reappear, which would cause a huge scandal and ruin Willow's political career as Congresswoman Kane. So Willow is desperate, and desperation makes people do crazy things. She looks at Nina, and she makes the confession that absolutely stuns her mother. She admits that the video evidence is actually proof of her guilt, because she is the one who shot Drew Kane. Yes, Willow shot Drew, and Nina is just sitting there trying to process this. Her own daughter, the sweet, innocent Willow, is a shooter. But it does not stop there, because Willow is just getting started. This is the raw, unfiltered truth finally coming out. Nina is trying to understand the timeline. She asks about Drew. She says, then what happened to him? Because Drew ended up incapacitated, everyone in Port Charles thought he had a stroke. But Willow looks at her mother, and she says, I did it. And that is just a jaw-dropping moment, because we find out that Drew did not have a stroke at all. Willow confesses the whole twisted medical scheme. She tells Nina that the injection she had Nina give Drew was not just medicine. It was a paralytic. Willow had asked Nina to inject Drew's foreline because Willow had to go answer the phone, and Nina did it. Nina thought she was helping, but she was actually poisoning him. What Nina inoculated his IV line with caused his condition, and now Willow is holding all the cards, because she points out that Nina's fingerprints are all over that syringe. Willow saved it. She kept the evidence. So now Nina is in just as deep as Willow. If Willow goes down, Nina goes down. It is pure, ruthless blackmail. Willow's blackmailing her own mother. She's forcing Nina to help her. She wants Nina to get Valentine Cassadine's location from Charlotte so she can hand it over to Jack Brennan and get Brennan off her back. It is so messy. Willow is literally threatening to destroy her mother's life. She is manipulating everyone around her. She is dealing with Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson knowing her secret. And she is just bulldozing through Port Charles like a villain. And Nina is just trapped, fuming but trapped in this betrayal corner with no way out. So while all that dark family drama is happening, we have Sonny Corinthos. And Sonny is doing what Sonny does best. He is taking massive risks. So he is at his apartment over Charlie's Pub, and he is with Acting District Attorney Justine Turner. Now Justine has been helping Sonny. She tipped him off to Jen Sidwell's plot. She warned him that Sidwell is blaming him for Marco Rios' death. Sidwell is a grieving, angry father with a vendetta that is out of control, and he wants revenge. He wants to punish Sonny. And Rick Lansing has been warning Sonny to be prepared for retaliation. But Sonny is not acting like a man who is terrified for his life. Instead, he is getting cozy with the ADA. They are hanging out in his apartment, and there is all this flirtation happening. They start kissing. And this is a big deal, because they had agreed not to sleep together again. After the first time they did it, Justine said they shouldn't do it anymore. It was too risky. She is the ADA, he is a known mob boss, it is a massive conflict of interest wrapped in a scandal, but passion is clearly winning over prudence here. Justine even jokes about it. She teases him and says, that almost sounded like an open invitation, and it looks like Sonny is going for it. He is taking the risk. They are going to have another roll in the hay, but this time it is different. This time it is in the broad daylight, not at night under the cover of darkness like before, which makes it so much more dangerous, because anyone could walk in. Anyone could catch them in the act. What if Danny Morgan shows up again? Danny's been trying to get in on the mob action. He wants to go after Sidwell and the WSB. What if he bursts into the apartment and catches Sonny with the ADA? Or what if someone working for Sidwell is watching the place It is just so clunky and reckless. Sunny is playing with fire, and Justine is risking her entire career, but they just cannot keep their hands off each other. And finally, we have to talk about Jordan Ashford, because this is the cliffhanger we have been waiting for. So Jordan is at General Hospital. She was rushed there after the fiery crash on Route 91. She was completely unresponsive. Valentine Cassidy and Curtis had to literally drag her out of the burning car. She had a nasty gash on her face, and she needed life-saving measures. Lucas Jones had to step in. He was the one interrogating Isaiah Gannon earlier, because Isaiah was not available due to being at the cabin with Portia. So Lucas performed this potentially risky operation on Jordan, and now she is in her room. She is recovering in the hospital bed, and she starts to wake up. Curtis is right by her side. He has been terrified. He's been waiting for any sign of life. He even called Trina Robinson in a total panic. So he is just sitting there praying she opens her eyes. And she does. Jordan awakens. She looks around the room. She realizes where she is. She realizes she is in a hospital. She sees Curtis sitting next to her. And the very first thing she says is, "Oh my God." And she says it with so much shock, so much raw emotion. And we have to wonder what is going through her head right now. Does she have a memory of the crash? Does she remember who was in the other car? Because we know Danny and Charlotte were joyriding, Carly has been desperately trying to cover that up. If Jordan remembers seeing Charlotte's car, Carly's whole cover-up is blown. Or maybe Jordan remembers something else. She did have a head injury. So there's a chance her memory may be just a little behind the times. Maybe her brain is scrambled. Maybe she thinks she hit Brook Lynn. Or maybe, just maybe, she has a flashback of a much too close call. Perhaps even who helped Curtis free her from the burning car. Think about it. Valentine Cassidy is a fugitive. He's supposed to be in hiding at Carly's house, but he was on that road. He risked his freedom to help Curtis pull her from the wreckage. What if Jordan woke up for just a second during the rescue? What if she saw Valentine's face through the smoke and the flames? If Jordan tells the police that Valentine Cassidy was at the scene of the crash, Valentine is doomed. He will be hauled right back to Steinmauer, and Carly will be in massive trouble for harboring a fugitive. So that one exclamation, that, "Oh my God," could mean a million different things, and it could ruin so many lives in Port Charles. We are just sitting here trying to process all of this information. The storylines are all over the place. We have Brook Lynn taking the fall for a crash she might not have even caused. We have Willow turning into a criminal mastermind and blackmailing her own mother with a paralytic syringe. We have Sunny hooking up with the ADA in broad daylight while a grieving father plots his murder. And we have Britt trying to protect Lulu from a fake Nathan West, who is actually a Faison. It is just raw, unfiltered chaos, and we love it. But we're also so exhausted trying to keep up with the pace. So we will be watching closely to see what Jordan actually remembers. And we will see if Brook Lynn actually confesses to a crime out of sheer guilt. It is going to be a wild ride, and we will be right here to break it all down for you.